Okay, we're live. Sweet. We got a couple people in here already. I am going to start in the stream chat. I'm going to post this is my friend code for Steam, my Steam friend code. So anybody who wants to be able to kind of follow along with the process tonight, we're gonna be taking it from the top. AJ and I are here. We're gonna
Yeah.
Yep. We're going to do the kind of step-by-step process of how to go from Google Drive, where there are just, piles and piles of cards, to a playable deck on Tabletop Simulator, via Steam. It's not bad. It's not hard to do, but it's a little bit, the type of thing where if somebody just shows it to you, it's a million times easier than having to like fumble through it yourself. So anybody who kind of jumps in, as we're going, if they want to add me on this Steam friend code by the end of the stream, then that way that, you guys will be able to kind of go on and do your own thing. But basically, we're just going to, like I said, we're going to go through this. It's going to be kind of a tutorial. AJ, you probably have not really done this process that much or maybe at all.
The only thing I've really done on TTS is like I've gotten games played, but I have not created a full deck yet.
Well, that's what I was. I couldn't remember if you had done it once or hadn't done it at all. Either way, I'm gonna depend on you as the vocal voice of reason. If I am jumping around too fast,
everyone. I'm sorry, everyone. We
have
set you up for failure.
If I go like too many steps in a row too quick, or you need me to like explain something, you're here to kind of catch me as I go through this. Obviously, we'll be looking at the stream chat as well. Anybody that's in the stream that has any questions about what we're doing. As far as going through this process, can also just kind of jump in, try to catch me, and hopefully this will be pretty seamless. So,
if you have any questions, just start.
Just spam them up there because honestly, if you ask them now, then they'll be integrated kind of into the video, and if anybody else had that question while they're watching the video, then it'll get answered, so it'll be perfect. But one of the absolute first things you have to do is you have to be my friend, okay? It's my mod for Tabletop Simulator. So in order to get access to the table where like the play space is and the tokens and like all the things like that you need to kind of just get the game to work, you have to become friends with me and then follow that mod, okay? Or subscribe to it, I guess is actually the technical term. So
and for those who are wondering,
go ahead.
Ken is only doing this so he has more friends on Steam.
It's true. I'm actually looking to have the largest Steam friends list on the East Coast. So step one, you're going to open up your Steam like this. Well, I should say step two. Once we are friends, you're going to open up Steam.
You got to open up Steam to be your friend.
Well, yeah. Well,
so that's step one. Come on, man.
This is.
How am I supposed to add you on friend without the app open?
Okay. So once we are friends, you're going to come to Tabletop Simulator. You're going to enter your library. You're going to click on Tabletop Simulator, and then kind of 75% of the way up, there's this bar here that has store page, community hub, point shop, find groups, discussion guides, and then like the second to last one, workshop, okay? You're going to click on workshop, and it's going to open up this like, ultimately this is for everybody who's doing mods for basically any Tabletop Simulator game.
You should show your screen.
Oh my god, I haven't shared my screen. Well, I've been recording it, I just haven't shared it. Okay. This is starting off just so well.
Wrong, as you said 10 minutes ago.
All right. We're going to go one step backwards. Library. Tabletop Simulator.
We are nothing but professionals and practice and rehearse.
we really figured this out. So you're going to click on library. You're going to click on TTS. You're going to go, like I said, about a quarter of the way down the page. There's this bar here. The like seventh option is workshop. You click workshop.
For those who don't have Steam full, click the ellipsis at the end, and workshop is under the ellipsis.
Okay. Good catch. You're going to get to this page, and this is a page for literally anybody and everybody who has done any modding on Tabletop Simulator. So you're going to have to like get to me, right? The easiest thing that we found to do is to go to this search bar right here, type in Flawed. The mod is in all caps. I don't know if it really matters, but you can just type in Flawed, hit enter. It's going to give you 41 entries of like things that have apparently the word flawed anywhere in their description. But if you click on the kind of the right-hand side where it says show all your favorites, friends' favorites, click on friends items, and almost certainly one of the only things that will pop up here will be my mod. Now, I can't actually see my own mod this way, okay?
You'll see a picture of Lightning Warrior.
Yep.
With a Torrid Essence.
Perfect. So
on the left-hand side.
Yep. So you can click on that thing, and if you come, I believe there's a way for me to show, but from here it's 2 more clicks. You click on Flawed.
And then you'll click on the plus button.
And then there's like a subscribe or ad or something like that, right? Like a plus.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little green plus in the corner.
And that's it. You now have access to the table, and that is like the key feature to be able to like host these games and be able to play them on the TTS side. Now the bigger part of this tutorial, because honestly the like following the mod is like not that big of a deal. The bigger part of this tutorial is actually building decks.
Yep.
And in order to do that,
wait, one pause real quick.
Go ahead.
Those who are subscribed, if you have friends who are like questioning about Flawed and want to get into it, you can now run the games yourself.
Correct.
So you have to have it now, and say your one friend who doesn't have subscribed to Flawed could just jump into your simulator, but you have to run the program first, and then they join your game from there.
That's true. You only need one member to actually be able to host it. The access is, of course, to the patrons at this point in the game, as far as like, you know, what for like you said, the players who can actually open up the tables and start the games.
Yep.
But if you want to play with your friends, family, relatives, whoever you're interested in showing Flawed to, whoever you want to get a game in with, I mean, teach people. It's fine. You know, get them on the tables. You know, get them playing it, and that'll be one more person you can play with, and one more person we can all play with in the long run. So it's fine.
Yep.
Second half of this, and this is going to definitely be the more useful half, in my opinion. I mean, the deck building is Flawed fundamentals. This is what I do all the time. But you have to go back to library. Tabletop Simulator actually has a built-in deck editor, actually, inside of its software. It's just not super upfront about it, I guess. I don't know. Like, you would never know if you didn't like go and look it up, basically.
It kind of hides it.
Yeah, it kind of hides it. It kind of hides it. So what you're going to have to do to find that deck editor is you're going to go back to your library. You're going to right-click on Tabletop Simulator, and you're going to...
Man, I love your last achievement.
Oh, the Rage Quit? Yeah. pretty good one. You're going to right-click. You're going to get this drop-down menu, and you're going to click on Properties, okay? It's going to pop up a window like this. This is a TTS, like, general properties window. Third option down.
Before we go any further, who is maybe, like, still downloading TTS and is a little behind? Any pauses? Any gripes? Anyone needs a slight slowdown?
I think we're okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have a ton of people in here. A lot of this is going to be for the YouTube, because there are a bunch of new patrons just jumped on board. No, I hear you.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, but they're here now. I want to cater to the here and now, and the later, obviously, you know.
I hear that.
They get my help in an hour after the YouTube video is posted.
That's right. The third option inside of this general window, local files, you're going to click on that, and then you're going to select Browse. And Browse is going to bring up a File Explorer window. It's actually open on my second monitor, specifically showing Tabletop Simulator's files. This is everything for TTS right here. The very top folder for me, it should be the same for you. I assume they're going to be alphabetized for everyone, is modding.
Says modding.
Yep. You're going to double-click on modding. You're going to double-click on Deck Builder, and then you're going to find this .exe file called ttsdeckeditor.exe. And this right here is the deck editor, okay? Now, you've got two options right now. You can go through this process that I just described, right-click on properties, et cetera, every time you want to build a deck. Or you can do the sensible thing, right-click on this, and drop down to Create Shortcut, and slap yourself a shortcut on the desktop or on your toolbar or wherever you want it. I'm going to move mine to the desktop right now just so I have it readily available. And then you can open the TTS deck editor, you know, with a double click at any point in time. This deck editor is capable of making decks actually for basically any game. I mean, if you actually wanted to, you know, not to promote other products, but if you wanted to play other games, you could like quote unquote proxy decks like through this deck editor and play them on TTS for literally any other card game that you play. TTS is a really cool software for like testing for tournaments with, you know, people that don't live near you, that type of stuff. So learning how to use this will be useful in your other card gaming adventures, in addition to the fact that you can build Flawed decks with it. But once you have that, you can close all this down. I've got my shortcut now. And from here, we're actually done with Steam for a minute. So you're going to double click on your new shortcut. and it's going to pop up. I suppose I should. I had this open already, actually. Let me.
I got a pop-up that says, "Do you want to open files with TTS deck editor?"
Yeah. So when you open it, it should look something like this. Like when you get to the actual deck editor itself, double click it. It might give you a like a setup message or something right away. Yep. I just clicked through it. I didn't do anything crazy. But you're going to get this sort of very, very basic looking, bare bones, nothing special little deck editor here. You've got new deck and open deck as options. We're going to do both right now. I'm actually going to show a deck that I was working on and show how to kind of start a new deck. I guess we will start with new deck just to kind of take it from the beginning. When you click on new deck, you're going to get this deck size. It starts off as a default 10x7. I never changed this. I think if you dropped it down to 10x6, 5, maybe even, no, yeah, you would need at least 10x6 because you need at least 52 card slots, I think, is our minimum. But anyway, don't change these. You don't have to. It's just going to make it a pain on you to like adjust them every time you make a new deck, in my opinion. So I just leave it at 10x7. I click OK. You now get this black screen of seemingly death. There's nothing going on in here. It's okay. Oh. It always looks this way.
Why so dark so fast?
I know.
Seemingly death? I'll talk about you, guy.
Oh, me? No, I'm good. Okay, so in order to actually build the deck, we're going to need some cards, right? So this is the part that starts to get... This is where... I can actually try to resize these and put like 2 things in on this monitor at the same time. Okay. This is the Google Drive. Most of the patrons, as of today, actually, I kicked out the shared folder for, the current version of set 1 of Flawed. Everything's in there. You've got all of the stuff. It's if you go to your shared with me folder, you should see this folder right here that's called Flawed Patreon. When you click inside of that, you're going to get these 3 little items here. The README is just a quick little thing. Key terms is kind of a reference list for keyword abilities and stuff like that to just kind of help out if you ever have any questions. It's at least something to go back on since we're still in the process of writing a rule book.
Yeah. I wonder where that rule book is.
And then you have files.
Ooh.
Lots of stuff in here, okay? It's going to be... There's a lot to kind of get through, but it's all necessary. It's all worthwhile, and it's all going to help you build your decks. So it's kind of in 2 halves. The top 3 set 1 base cards, set 1 base cards with essence images, and set 1 essences are for building the 50 cards that make up your deck that you're going to shuffle and play and do battle with, right? But of course, every deck also needs a shrine, and shrines are also customizable. So we've got down here the shrines, the improvements, and then also the layered shrines with improvements. I should take a quick second to mention that the reason it's done this way, Flawed is a really unique game. You have a base card and you have a clear thing that go on top of one another and into a sleeve for analog live play here at locals when we're always doing battle. Tabletop Simulator and any other software that I could find didn't have any built-in process by which I could take 2 images and make 1 card, quote-unquote, on the fly. So what I've done for you guys is I've taken all of the... Sorry, this is what I wanted to look at. I took all 140 of these base cards. I took all 80 of these essences, and I processed them through Photoshop, deleted or just didn't create all of the illegal combinations to the point that you have a file, a folder, with 6,866 cards in it right now. And these cards are, as you can see here, it's every possible combination of Absorb Magic to start. So if you want to put Absorb Magic with a Clouded Essence in your deck, I have made that file for you already. Here's Absorb Magic, that's the top half of the card. Here's Clouded Essence, that's the bottom half of the card. We're still using the old templating on these. We don't have enough work done on the new templating, but that, this is fine. It works. It plays for now.
It does its thing.
It does its thing. Job. Yep, exactly. And you can go ahead and take Absorb Magic with Clouded Essence and put it in your deck. If you're the type of player who doesn't want it with Clouded Essence, maybe you want to play, I don't know, Essence of Swiftness. You just want the real fast boy. Bam, download it. There's your guy. Maybe you're playing a nasty 3-color deck with like Fire, Water, and Earth. Look at that. I already made it for you. Got your dual end on there, your dual essence ready to go. I've made all of these. They all exist. Every legal card combination, like I said, I think it's 6,866. They are all in here, and you can see them all. I mean, I would not recommend exploring this folder. This folder is just enormous. It is packed full of every card you need.
This is for after you build your deck and you need to go grab the actual full card
together. You need the actual image, exactly.
Yep.
What I would recommend doing is checking out the base cards, the essences, the shrines, the shrine improvements. Those folders are all much smaller, much more manageable. For instance, if I click on set 1 base cards, it's divided by the 7 different basic categories, the 7 elements, 6 elements and the multicolor. And
7 elements, multi.
it's the new like Uber element.
Yeah. Everything comes together. This is when like the Avatar unites.
Yeah, you gotta look out for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, just as an example, if I wanted to build, I don't know, like a dark deck, I would click on the dark folder and okay, here are all my dark cards, right? And I can just kind of, if I'm trying to check these out, I can open one of them. I can kind of peruse through them. There's that way Intimidator. You got Assassin. Every dark card. Here's one of your epics for dark.
Ooh.
And you just kind of can go through these and like read them and figure out what you like. Start sketching out the ideas of a deck. Maybe you see some cards that interest you. Cool. The other thing you can do, and this is actually the much more intelligent thing in my opinion, is to start by learning your essences.
I don't know who would ever start with the cards.
Anybody will tell
not
you.
Not me. Definitely not me.
Anybody
look at cards for 8 hours and then go, wait, I forgot to put essences on these cards.
Anybody who isn't AJ will tell you that knowing what the essences do will make this process so much easier for you in the long run. It's
true.
You can
I
took
down. The hard route.
If I open up this folder right here and I just read these, like, what is this, like 9 essences or something, and I know what all of these do. For these are the +4s. These are some of the more powerful ones, I would say. And I know what all these do. It makes a lot more sense for me when I go back and I click in here and I'm like, all right, let me look at these base cards. And I pull up, I don't know, it doesn't matter, finishing move. And I'm like, what essence can I put on this? Well, luckily, I already read them all. I kind of memorized them all. There aren't that many. They all have some similarities where once you start to kind of know them, you're like, oh, this one like kind of scales. It's the bigger version of this one, or these two kind of go together to make this, and you can make these quicker understandings of what a finishing move can look like in your deck. Because again, finishing move as a card, I don't know, there are like 70 different options for like legal things you can put on it. And I won't sugarcoat it. Not all 70 of them are going to be hyper competitive, but like a ton of them are. A ton of them are. So, you got to start asking yourself, do I want to crank the speed up on this so I can interact with it better? Can I crank the power up on this to make it hit harder? Is my deck a multicolor deck that requires a lot of investment into my colors, so I should put maybe an essence on here that produces 2 colors? Do I want to, play some type of an off-color essence that is strictly for increasing the stats on this? Maybe I want to play Surge on it so I can counter, recover a couple of my resources, then make another play after I've slowed you down. There are just so many things you can do, and knowing those essences is going to help you so much. Once you decide, let's for the sake of argument say that we want to play finishing move with give me an essence, AJ. What's your favorite finishing move? Essence of Might. A classic, an absolute classic.
I've been waiting to say that.
So we now know, or AJ has just told us, that we are going to play finishing move with Essence of Might inside of our deck. So obviously inside of this set 1 base cards folder full of all the base cards, there are no essences. There are no images that are playable. I could go all the way back here. Sorry, not quite that far. Jump into the base cards with essence images folder and scroll until I find finishing move with Essence of Might. But that's obviously foolish. The best thing to do is just to type it in up here. All of the card files are named the base card and then the essence with no spaces. So we would type in finishing move Essence of Might, hit enter, and literally one card comes up. and it is.
Oh.
Maybe it'll open. Why is
it?
It kept sliding down when I started to click it. Boom.
Okay.
There's our card. Finishing move. Essence of Might. Now, when we negate your cards, you're taking 4 damage. This is the hardest hitting version of finishing move. AJ just wants all the DPS.
I do.
Yeah.
It feels good. They cast their 3-drop guy, and you're just like, bam, counter your 3-drop unit, take 4.
Yeah. No, this card is actually brutal when it works. Like, this card is very, very brutal when it works. I can say out loud that I've been hit by this at least once, and it was like, wait.
Oh, I felt good. It felt good when I resolved that.
My guy got countered, and I just lost a quarter of my HP on my shrine?
Yep.
But why? That's not fair. So this is the card I want. I've searched it. I've double-clicked on it, verified that it's exactly what I was looking for. Now I've got to get it into the deck. And this is honestly quite simple. You actually just kind of like right-click, download this card. It's going to go into your download folder. I'm just going to click in the corner here. You can actually just show it in folder. It'll pop right open. I actually emptied my downloads before we did this just to make sure that there was a lot of space for everybody to see. Once it's in the download folder, this is a JPEG. I can just move this around and like do image related things with it. It's not difficult to use. The most direct thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take it and I'm literally just going to drag and drop it into my new deck list. And as soon as you drop at least one card into your deck list, it kind of grids up like this and shows you the slots, right? And that's it. That's the process of making a deck. You figure out what card you want, you type it into the search bar, you download it, and then you drop that card into the deck. Some people do it in different order. Some people will download a bunch of cards and then drop them all in. If you kind of know the bulk of your deck, right, you can just like download all of the cards and then kind of drag them all in. Some people do it a card at a time, kind of like this, where it's like, okay, I'm definitely playing finishing move. Let's put that in. It's up to you. You know, do what you want in that regard. But once it's in the list, you can move it around. I like to kind of build my decks with like an order. I usually put my units towards the top and my events towards the bottom. So I might like move this down to the row 30 or row 40 here. You can also just like click on it and use like Control-C, Control-V to like add a playset to the deck. So we've got, boom, there are 3 finishing moves with Essence of Might ready to go. And you just do this for like all the cards that you need. We had mentioned that you need a shrine in order to play, right? So we could go back to the same process, but rather than looking at base cards and essences, you've also got shrines and shrine improvements. Same sort of deal, right? So let's say, I don't know, if we're playing aggro, why don't we try out Makiri Ravine, right? I mean, this is a nice fire shrine. Same deal. That's the shrine I want to play. Well, let's check, what's a good shrine improvement for aggro? What do you like?
War Room.
Love it. So we're going to add War Room to Makiri Ravine. Increase our starting hand size by 1. Same deal. Just type it in up top. You only get the one file that we actually care about. I would download this. Same deal. I can just show in folder. Boom. I like to put my shrine in slot 1 because then when you load the deck into the table, it'll be right on top. Makes it nice and easy. And yeah, just fill in the blanks. Don't forget it is a 50-card deck, so you'll end up going down to slot 51. This will be your last card will be on slot 51 because the shrine is not inside of the deck. And then the final thing that you need in order to actually play...
48 other cards.
Well, yeah, you definitely need 47 other cards, but you actually need... Whoops, I went too far.
Oh.
I feel like
clicking all the buttons,
my internet is like lagging a little bit or something. The last thing you need is this right here, the card back for TTS decks. In order to actually make the cards look like cards, you're going to download this as well. I mean, it's the same folder. And it's just like the Flawed logo on a white back. It's very, very simple. But you drop that on the very last slot in your deck list. And what that'll do is it'll know to put that image on the back of all the cards while you're playing so that your cards match up with like the mulligan card and stuff like that are already on the table. And then, yeah, fill out the rest of the deck. Once you get the entire deck full, you got to save it twice. This is an important data point, okay? The first thing you're going to do is save as, I'm just going to call this AJ's aggro, whatever.
Good spelling.
I'm going to save it. Now that has saved my TTS deck editor file. So let's say I close this and, leave my PC for some amount of time. And then I'm like, you know what? I actually want to change one of those cards in AJ's aggro. You open that file up, it's going to put you back in here. And you can edit these cards, adjust whatever you've built. Maybe I only want to play 2 finishing moves now. I cut one of those, add something else, whatever, right?
You just hit the delete button for that?
Yes. Good question. Yeah, I literally just hovered over it, or not even hovered, clicked on it and just deleted it. And then, yeah, I mean, you can move these around and like do whatever you want with them. I mean, you can even I can like highlight a bunch of them, like move them up here. Like you could just play with it. I mean, it pretty much responds how you'd expect it would. So I've got a deck editing file here that I have saved and I can access in the future, and I can edit and I can save and I can edit and I can save, but I can't play yet. The thing you have to do to be able to play is click File, Export. Okay, it's going to give you this pop-up window. I have never changed anything on this pop-up window. I just click Export. It pulls me up to the same. It's the same folder where I saved the last one, but it's saving it as a .png now. It's saving it as like a screenshot of the whole deck in one place, rather than an editable file. This is actually just a picture. Okay. And then you save this, and if I can, I actually don't know where that folder is off the top of my head. It's not super important, but the idea is once you have that picture is what you can load into TTS, and the Tabletop Simulator software actually knows how to just like cut it up and make cards out of it. And that's the next thing we're gonna do, or I guess that's the last thing we're gonna do after I finish showing just a couple more quick functions on this side. The deck editing process can be a little bit lengthy at times. I've actually was working on one.
Confirm.
Yeah, can confirm. It's sometimes you get deep. You're like, oh man.
Sometimes you're 45 cards in, you're like, I have no idea what I want for these last 5. Does happen.
I literally didn't tell you that that's what I was about to say, but same situation. We got a deck.
I've seen you and I both sit down at the same table and go, all right, I got 45 out of 50. What's these last 5?
Yep. So this was a deck I was working on earlier, and it was the core concept was one that AJ and I were both talking about recently, and I was trying to make an optimized version of it. You do love this deck. I was trying to make an optimized version of it. We had a core concept, and we said, okay, what if we just took basically every idiot with stealth, careful sneak, unseen duelist, covert commander, expert saboteur, all these stealthy boys, jammed them in a deck with like burn spells, ram the gates, fire palm strike, just ways to like get free damage, a little bit of interaction, and just tried to just beat people down. Okay, cool. I ran out of stealth boys. This is all the stealth boys. There really aren't any more to put into the deck. So
you can make more.
You can, but I don't know if it's that good. You just lose so much power.
You do
for a deck that's trying to go in. You just lose a little bit of that punch.
Yeah, it's fine.
So we've got.
So we have fire palm strike.
We've got 7 slots left here, and I am very much of the opinion that this deck is missing some units, okay? So one of the things that you can do inside of the Google Drive, and this is actually, I set this up by going in and, like, every card, if you click on the card, there's actually a, there's like a description section down here where they let you write a description for this file. And what I did is I put a bunch of tags on every card where you have like a list of the characteristics of the card associated with the file that came out of the file. And this actually didn't take me a small amount of time. It took me a while to be able to get this to work. But what this does is you can run like essentially database queries through the Google Drive that will find things you're looking for. And this deck, like I said, it's a red fire deck that needs some guys. So what I did is I'm going to copy this rather than write it back out again. I put this in. I said I want my type to be unit. I want my element to be water, and then that vertical bar means ore. My element to be fire. So I'm going to hit this, and it is going to report back all of the units in the entire Google Drive that are, or all of the cards, I should say, that are units and are water or fire. And now I can look at this and be like, okay, let's take a look at what works for our deck. Well, this 3-color epic unit that is off colors clearly doesn't work. Elvira, she pumps fire units. I'm looking at, 19 water units in the deck?
Yeah. Yep.
Probably not. Elite Fire Soldier, a little heavy for my taste. Fire Starter, okay, it came up because it's fire, but obviously we don't care about the dark half. Same deal here. The multicolor ones are going to be tough. Okay, get those out of there. Battlefield Headsman. Not a terrible choice, but the double red pip might be a little tough, right? And you can just go through here, and you can just do this, and you can just look at all of them. I know that we're playing this card. This was the next one that I was going to decide whether or not it was making it into the deck. So this would come up inside of the query. We'd be like, okay, yeah, we probably need a grunt in this deck. Even though it doesn't have stealth, we want the early pressure, blah, 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 blah. And we would go and say, okay, what essences do we have left? We would crunch the numbers. We haven't used Rebellious Essence yet, which is actually a pretty good
hold
one.
on, Ken.
Go ahead.
If you pull up the copy-paste thing that you just had, sure. I was just going to read it out loud in case some people can't see, like,
okay, sure, yeah,
everything. Because, like, it's even kind of hard for me to, like, see each little thing. So it looks like you got quotation and then the type. So, like, for... Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. This makes it... Because it was kind of hard to see, like...
Yeah.
Each quotation mark and stuff like that going on right there. And then what is the...
So
is that just an L?
No, it's the button above enter. It's a vertical like bar.
Oh, the backslash.
No, not a backslash.
Oh, the shift. Oh, the shift. Yeah.
So in code that means or, right? Like that's what that is telling us. So this is it's looking for two things. It's looking for everything that is a unit, and then the space is just like this is making a list of things that I care about. And then the second thing that I care about is it being water or fire. And I'm using the quotes because this is kind of like we're kind of scamming the system because honestly, this is not like a proper database. It's just like some junk that I wrote in here. So what it's actually doing is it's looking for the quoted text, like element equals water, or the quoted text element equals fire, which is obviously written. You can see down here, you have element equals fire. So it's catching that exact quoted text from the description. Is that making sense to everybody?
Yeah. Oh, he left. The little frog left.
Oh, I just realized that I made a typo. I guess I'll edit it. Going live in 2 minutes there.
Going line in live 2 minutes. You just made it worse.
Oh, I edited it wrong. I hit the wrong one. Okay. Boom.
I don't see any changes. Yeah, all right.
Okay. So yeah, that's just one way you can write an inquiry. You can honestly make it like even more precise. Like I could go like I want units, but I only want units who, let's see, I wrote TC is total cost. Total cost equals 1. And it's just going to give me the 1 drops. Like
space in between TC space equals space 1.
Yep. That's the way I'm writing it. I mean, if you just look at like the description, all you're doing is replicating something that's in one of these boxes, right?
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying? Like you're all you're really trying to do is scrape that text out of that little description box. So in this case, it just pulled up literally all of the 1 costs of any color because I didn't include that other line. But I mean, you can add it all up. You can go as crazy as you want with this. I mean, I can add like let's just get the fire 1 drops real quick. Element equals fire.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only grunt. Yeah,
yes.
we definitely got to play that guy. So yeah, that's just a thing that you can do to kind of parse through here and like help you find cards. I mean, we could do another one just for one more example. I could do like I don't know. Let's get a guy with like at least.
You could even do CCC in case you like already know the essence you want to run. You're like,
yeah. CCC is
what card can I use?
CCC is a good example because you kind of got to cheat the system on this one. So I'll do. Let's say we decided that we had an essence of might left over. So that's anything with a CCC of 2, 1, or 0, right? So you actually have to actually kind of con it and say like anything with a CCC of 2 or anything with a CCC of 1.
I feel like I'm using Excel. How long I have to write out code?
Yeah, I know. CCC equals 0, and that's going to give you a bunch of units, obviously. But all of these can take Essence of Might. You've got some like, let's see, I know I saw one. Talia, for instance.
Oh.
Talia, if I can get her to open, has a CCC of 0, right? She's not great because she's waterlocked, but it did find me the zeros, right? And then on the flip side, I could look at like Earth's Elite is a 1. Oh, look at that guy. He looks good.
Ooh.
He looks real good. Or
accidentally clicks on Earth Elite. Yeah, okay.
Or Knife Expert is a 2. So it pulled me up all of the valid choices for Essence of Might. And yeah, you can play with this. I mean, it's not a requirement to use this search feature, but I did put the work in to make it available for anybody who wants to use it. I think it helps. I think it's nice to have. You go back down to...
And if you are kind of confused, maybe you don't know exactly which essence you want to use, I mean, just like clicking on like the full files with all the essences and just like,
right.
I know I want to play Absorb Magic, and you just like scroll through there in case you don't want to like remember how to do the search. You can just like look at like, okay, so Absorb can do this or this. I like this more.
Yeah.
Because for some people, seeing it all together as one card might like, help you solve that final like, all right, this is the essence going on it.
Absolutely. No, that's very understandable. One of the other things that I like to do is when I'm building the deck, I like to get a little like do it in a flexible sense. So like, again, let's say that I know that I'm playing, I don't know, Fire Palm Strike here, right? But I don't, I'm debating between 2 or 3 essences. I will download all of them and just slap each essence. Like I'll have one Fire Palm Strike here with one of the essences, one here with another one, and one here with another one. And once the deck is coming together more and more and more, I'll be like, okay, I'm definitely not playing this one, so I'll delete it. And then, okay, we're down to the last couple of cards, and I'm like, okay, I've decided. I'm playing this version in the middle, so I'm going to delete the first one. I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy. I'm going to copy him, fill him in, and boom. Now I've got my 3 that are like the version that I care about, right? And that's just another like way that you can just kind of go through the process and just kind of think about it. So the last thing, this is actually getting your deck onto the table. At some point, you will follow the mod. You will be my friend on Steam. You will subscribe to the Flawed mod. You will launch your tabletop simulator. It'll open up. Is that still coming through, you guys?
Play Tabletop Simulator.
Nice. You'll create a table. I usually just set mine to invite only, so I don't have anybody jumping in randomly. You will get a screen that looks like this. Here are a couple mods that I used to play when I used to test Star Wars Destiny. Here's some like screen cap like saved games. But the workshop mod titled Flawed, like you said, with the Lightning Warrior on it, Torrid Essence, this is the button you're looking to click. When you click this, you're going to load it up, and it's going to give you a table. It's got a kind of zoned off playmat space where you can kind of see where everything goes. There are 6 decks on the table right now, but I'm going to be honest with you, these aren't particularly up-to-date decks, so these might not be here for long. That's okay. I'll make new ones. Trust me, I can never stop making decks. You've got your mulligan card that explains kind of how the mulligan works. You've got your actions card that explains how the actions work. You've got some war kitten tokens just in case you play, what's it called, Kennels. It's all here. You've got damage tokens in place, ready to stack them up on your opponent's shrine. Anything that you don't need, if you have a deck that you're done with, whatever, you can trash it in the bag over here. It's everything you need to play except for your deck, okay? So when the time comes to load your deck, you're going to click on Objects, Components.
Wait, Objects?
Objects,
right here.
Components.
Little meeple.
Yep. And then you're going to click, sorry, I did go really fast. You're going to click Custom, and then you're going to click Deck. And it's going to put the deck like on your cursor, okay? It's asking you where do you want to put the deck, so I usually just click in the deck zone here. You're going to left click to drop the deck, and then if you still have this little pawn like carrying the deck, you have to tell it that you only want one deck basically. And then so to do that you right click, and it's going to put you into the sort of the loading page for your custom deck. All right.
Yeah, I don't see the deck part.
How do you, like, you didn't have a deck on your hand?
No, I don't, like, do it again. Go to Objects.
Objects.
Yep.
Components.
Yep.
Custom.
Custom. There it is.
And then deck.
I'm just a silly goose.
It's okay. You missed one click. Not a problem. Then so it's the easiest thing to say is it's one left click and then one right click to pull up this window. Okay. First thing I always do so I don't forget is I tell it I only want 51 cards. Otherwise, you're gonna have 2 like random, just like solid black cards in your deck, and then you're gonna forget that those are in there, and then you're gonna click shuffle, and then on turn 8 you're gonna draw one of them and be like, "What? My game crashed." And like, yeah, it didn't. You just shuffled in a solid black card.
Listen, if your game crashes, you just flip the table and restart.
It's true. So yeah, dial the number of cards you need down to 51. Again, it's 50 cards plus the shrine.
51.
Yep. Then you are going to click on the face, and you're going to navigate to wherever you were doing that, like, saving. Like, wherever you saved and exported your deck, like, it'll tell... I mean, you'll have a file pathway. It'll be different for you than it is for me, because I save mine to a specific folder. But, I put mine right here inside of tabletop decks. These safe decks, I mean, here, there's AJ's aggro that we were just making with the the 3 cards in it.
Load it up.
Yeah. I mean, we can. It's not going to look great. But we can do it.
Don't load it up. No, don't do it.
Okay. I'll get a different one. I'll get a full deck. Can this pile win a game? This sounds like one of Ruben's decks.
Oh, I wanted garbage. That works too.
Ruben always names his decks like in a real melancholy sense.
Fair.
So you have to put the face on there, and you have to put the card back in one more time. So wherever you downloaded that to, I have mine in images right here. You need to put the card back here. However the code works, it uses one of these like images for the back of the cards on the table, and it uses the other one of the images for the back of the cards in your hand. So it's important that they're both there just to make sure that everything looks consistent and nice. But yeah, you just drop you tell it to load up these 2 images. You click import. You close this window down. It actually loaded insanely fast. Top card of the deck is the Shrine, just like I said. Mercury Ravine. This one, oh, training facility. Nice. This is some aggressive stuff. And then if you look inside of here, we can just do a quick search and see that all of the cards that Ruben had decided were going to be in this deck with all of their essences are loaded in. And then you can shuffle up, play. There is one small note. Only the host of the table can load decks. So you have 2 choices. Either share your deck with your partner who you're going to play with ahead of time, you know, through the Google Drive, whatever, just trade email addresses and say, here's my deck, can you load it in for me? The other option, and I can actually, are you online? Can I bring you into a table, or are you in a table?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a table. I can leave it up.
Okay. I'm going to invite you to a table to kind of show the process real quick.
Play.
The other option is once I load my deck, which
I gotta click red.
You're good. Yeah, you can sit wherever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here.
Sure.
Cool.
So the other option is once I load my deck, which you saw, it only takes like literally like 5 seconds. I can click on your name up here in the corner, and I can click Give Host. It's going to kind of briefly restart the table.
It gives me a pop-up that says, "Do you accept to be the service host?"
Okay. Did you take it?
Yes.
Okay. It's migrating the server host now. It's going to recreate the table real quick. Click yes.
Oh, I'm back in. Faster internet.
Nice. So you're back in. You are now the host. My deck is still here, and now you load in your deck. If you didn't want to share your deck with me ahead of time. I'm not saying literally do it right now. I'm just saying this is how you get 2 different players to be able to both load in decks to the best of my ability. There might be a better way around this. If somebody knows it, I'll be happy to hear it. But this is what we've done in the past, like with my brother and Ruben and stuff. Whenever we have like unshared decks and we want to like keep the spice secret and jump in, we do it this way. But yeah, then you're just playing. I mean, you know, the keys in TTS. I mean, you guys can fiddle around with these and learn them all. I mean, it's a number of different things you can do with the cards. Here's the old unnerfed Lightning Warrior in Ruben's deck. Wouldn't make you play with that. But yeah, that's pretty much the process. And I know it was a lot to kind of get through, but it's a bunch of little things. Some of which not everybody will use, but some of which people will be really happy to know is an option as far as, you know, getting it done. Any final questions in the stream chat? I mean, we kind of don't have a ton of people in here, but again, we just really wanted to get this out there in general so that people understand how to go about, you know, building a deck. Like, this is a big deal to be able to start building your own decks. This is major. AJ's just toying around with all the game components now.
I'm letting people know the deal damage.
Oh, yeah.
No, we get to start the lead out here.
Nice.
Yeah, here's some more damage.
Earth's Elite still riding the horse. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to shut it down there. Thanks for the couple of you who jumped in here tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. I mean, I know it was kind of just a quick little kind of boring compared to last week's stream with all the Essence announcements and all the artwork and stuff. I just appreciate you guys coming in and checking this out. Big things coming. Got a couple more artists already underway. Like I'm getting quotes about printing, and I mean we're moving. We're moving and shaking over here. So, yeah, you can also flip the table if you want to rage quit, as you guys. And then...
I thought you were about to say goodbye, so I was trying to time the table flip, but I might have went slightly.
The table is like
early.
falling into infinity, like over and over again.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Nice. But all right, we're gonna shut the video down there. Appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
See ya.